Donald Trump is kicking some ass while the Europeans are acting very European. Sure looks like they're having a ball there, all of this, as we got some very interesting video from European leaders in Ukraine that we're going to be talking about in this particular video, as Donald Trump, though, is doing the exact opposite of that, as there's a lot less hanky-panky and fun stuff with Donald Trump that just announced some major, big, bombshell policy decisions that will be with us for the foreseeable future. Lots of things also happening with Putin and Zelensky that might be meeting for the first time, as we have a freed American citizen that was held in captivity by Hamas, as now Donald Trump is even throwing more shade at Israel. What in the world's going on here? Well, that's exactly what we are going to be discussing in this particular video, as a few hours ago, Donald Trump tweeted that my next truth, his form of tweeting on Truth Social, will be the most important and impactful I have ever issued and enjoyed. Eric Fartswell didn't see that as good news, but the news that he broke actually is having a lot of people on the left, especially a lot of Democrats, especially a lot of the Bernie types being like, hey, we want to do this, as Donald Trump announced that he will be signing an executive order that will reduce prescription drug and pharmaceutical prices in the United States. Now, there's some libertarian people that are not too happy with that, saying price control, thumbs down, but I think it's fair to argue here that our current medical industrial complex system is a little bit corrupt, a little bit ruthless, as of course a lot of people just go to Canada and Mexico and all these other places, like I do, to get medical treatment. Luckily, I'm not on any kind of big pharma drug or prescription drugs like the vast majority of the American people actually are. And the whole thing's a Ponzi scheme. There's a lot to say about what's going on here. But Donald Trump coming out and saying the United States of America's were so much higher in price that they were in any other nation, sometimes being 5 to 10 times more expensive than the same drug manufactured in the same exact laboratory or plant by the same company. It was always difficult to explain and very embarrassing because, in fact, there was no correct or rightful answer. The pharmaceutical drug companies would say for years that it was research and development costs, and that all of these costs were and would be for no reason whatsoever borne by the suckers of America alone. Campaign contributions can do wonders, but not with me. And not with the Republican Party. We're going to do the right thing, something that the Democrats have fought for many years. That's true. Therefore, I am pleased to announce that tomorrow morning in the White House at 9 a.m., I will be signing one of the most consequential executive orders in this country's history. Now, how will this impact Big Pharma? That's going to be pretty interesting, as a lot of people were saying that Donald Trump was hijacked by Big Pharma with his last stint as president of the United States. And I think those arguments are fair to make here. But now, signing an executive order that's going to reduce these prices. Now, a lot of people are saying, I think there could have been a bigger political win here if he actually tried to pass this through legislative means. Other people make the argument there's no way that would be possible. Big Pharma would be kind of galvanized in a way that would, of course, prevent that from happening in any kind of meaningful way. Cali Memes came out and said this: everyone should be clear on a simple fact. President Trump is fearless. He has given RFK Jr. a green light to drive mass change to help patients. This is so much more than food dyes. It's mass cultural change to change health incentives. This is big. And this is something that, of course, probably will be very difficult to overturn here, as there might be some actual legislative actions that could be matched by this. As of right now, the Republicans, they're kind of sitting on their buttocks here. They're not really achieving or getting anything done. These executive orders could be repealed, but who's going to be the politician that says, yeah, drugs should cost more? As of course, people lose their entire livelihoods whenever they get sick here in the United States here. The healthcare system, rotten to its core. The fact that we are dealing with so many illnesses, so many severe deaths and hazards that are all around us, that all have the stamp of approval by the federal government, really just shows you just how absolutely insane the world has become. As now, let's be honest with ourselves, whether you like them or not, RFK Jr., Donald Trump are revolutionizing this entire system to be actually a little bit more reasonable. And I think that's fair to argue here, since the tremendous amount of financial servitude, debt, loss that people have to deal with when they go through unfortunate health circumstances here in the United States. The fact that you have two different rates comparatively to when you're on insurance and when you're not insured. I mean, the whole thing is a freaking scam here, as there's going to be some other people in the financial institutions of this country that are also going to be celebrating, as right now the White House announced that they are going to be actually announcing a trade deal between the United States and China. What's really going on here before telling you about that and how Zelensky and Putin might be actually meeting for the first time ever because of Donald Trump, we wanted to tell you about WeAreChange.shop. It's a great shop. It's one of the best shops out there. One of the products that I really like, that I really enjoy, I just had some right before the making of this video, is Essential Fatty. It is fish oil. It's really good for your heart. It's really good for your brain. As you can see here, every day I take 2 with my lunch. And I've been feeling a lot better. I really like it. I do my blood work. I ask my doctor, I was like, what supplements should I take? I go to the AIs now, and I'm like, okay, tell me 2. I don't believe that Big Pharma salesman, because he's probably corrupted, like most of them are, as the good doctors were actually fired a few years ago during the coup. Anyway, I digress here. They're like, you should be eating fish. I don't want to eat fish because a lot of fish have mercury and a lot of heavy metals in them. This essential fatty fish oil is actually derived from small fish, so you get to, of course, avoid a lot of the toxins. I don't like eating small fish either, because it's like, you get the little things. It's like, I don't like that. It's like, best way, easiest way for me to get my fish oils is, of course, with essential fatty, so we could balance out those, omega-3s and omega-6s out there in our modern society that are extremely inflammatory. I feel really good when I have this stuff. You might feel good too. As the studies with smokers, if you know anyone that's a smoker, tell them, look up the fish oil studies with smokers. Be prepared to be surprised here. As, of course, I know a smoker in my life, and I'm like, hey, I'm giving you all this stuff. And they report, they even tell me, yeah, every time I take the fish oils, I feel great. I feel good. When I stop taking them, man, things just hit me that much harder. So if you're looking to increase brain and health and function, check out WeAreChange.shop. Do your own due diligence before putting anything into your own body. Now, let's talk about what's happening with this China deal, which is going to be big here because China also plays a key role with Russia. It's playing a bigger and more important role with Russia. They play an important role with Iran, which is also going through very tough negotiations right now with the United States, as the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bassett, came out and said U.S.-China trade talks in Geneva over the weekend were, quote, productive. He said he would give more details in a complete briefing on Monday morning. Bassett added that President Donald Trump is fully informed about the discussions that are happening there. Now, the Trump administration, again, working on a deal with the biggest manufacturer in the world, allowing American businesses to actually have a fair shake at it. Once again, highlights the kind of unorthodoxy when it comes to Donald Trump's presidency. That is something that we have never seen before. Love him or hate him, this guy is someone that I think will be going down in the history books as the most relevant, the most important political figure of our time. There's no denying that, especially with this latest thing that he's pulling off here between Russia and Ukraine that is monumental, that is huge here. As Donald Trump took to Truth Social and said, President Putin of Russia doesn't want to have a ceasefire agreement with Ukraine, but rather wants to meet on Thursday in Turkey to negotiate a possible end to the bloodbath. Ukraine should agree to this immediately. At least they will be able to determine whether or not a deal is possible. And if it is not, European leaders and the U.S. will know where everything stands and can proceed accordingly. I'm starting to doubt that Ukraine will make a deal with Putin, who's too busy celebrating the victory of World War II, which could not have been won, not even close, without the United States of America. Have the meeting now. Nice little historical jab there, as Zelensky says that he's actually willing and will be waiting to meet Putin in Turkey in just a matter of a few days. This is big. This is huge here because, again, we had Zelensky saying, I will never negotiate with Putin. We saw the Russian government saying, we will never negotiate with Zelensky. Zelensky must step down, then we will negotiate with them. Putin must step down, then we'll negotiate with them. Well, looks like none of them are going to be stepping down, and they're going to have a face-to-face meeting. This is going to be big. This is going to be possibly the quick end of this absolutely brutal, bloody conflict. Now, again, Trump shared, hey, we don't think Ukraine wants to do this. Zelensky's saying, I'm open to this, and that he will be waiting. This is going to be big here, as, of course, Turkey is the perfect kind of mediator. It's the perfect kind of country that has extensive ties with a lot of the countries involved here. It's also a NATO country. But as we know, Turkey also very significant odds with Israel. As the Turkish military, by the way, recently was on full military readiness and was doing a war drill with its entire military as a show of force, what a lot of people believe was against Israel. That also isn't having the best of time with the Donald Trump presidency. All of this, as we just found out, that Hamas set free a U.S.-Israeli hostage, Edwin Alexander, after striking a deal with the United States. As the Times of Israel is reporting, Israel wasn't told in advance about release, which is meant as goodwill gesture to Trump ahead of his Mideast trip, captive parents heading to Israel along with Trump's envoy. As we now have Donald Trump thanking Qatar and Egypt for helping secure the release of an American Israeli citizen, as a lot of people are saying, there was no mention of Israel here. As we were learning, I did a video about this just right before this one, of the kind of awkward, weird, uncomfortable situation between the Israelis, between the BBs and Donald Trump, which is just getting a lot more insane as time goes on here, as this is yet another gesture, another move being made by Donald Trump here that, of course, is showing that a lot of people said this. I had someone telling me, too, Donald Trump was only kind of pretending to be Israel first, only to use them to get elected. Then, of course, when the opportune situation arose, he says, you know what? This is the time to fully support the United States of America here and only do deals that benefit the American people and no one else here. As, of course, a lot of people are responding to this news saying the mega crowds are going to be mad about this happening, as we are also getting reports right now, according to a White House source. And again, when a lot of these sources are anonymous, take it with a grain of salt. Don't always believe it. But their sources that are coming out and saying that Trump is not taking any phone calls from a lot of the Israeli-aligned political donor class, individuals like Mark Levin, Maureen Adelson, Mike Huckabee, that have been, quote, largely ignored by the White House. Now, again, it is an anonymous source. It could be just totally made up here. Who knows what is going on here? But as we just found out, The Israeli Prime Minister, Bibi, just said Israel may soon need to end its reliance on U.S. aid, according to Dominic Trippi here, that is reporting this on social media. Yep, you heard that correctly. Bibi is telling Israel that they might have to end their reliance on U.S. aid and support. Now, if you go to the top headlines on Google, all of it is just, oh, Trump is getting a jet by Qatar. Qatar gave a jet. Oh, no, there's a gift. It's a luxury gift. Who gives a damn? Okay. Donald Trump got a gift here. Okay, it's a sign of goodwill. He's not even in the Middle East yet. And you got countries giving him luxury hundreds of millions of dollars worth of a jet that might be the next Air Force One. You have prisoners being released from captivity in Hamas. We have the possibility of Donald Trump going to the Middle East and recognizing Palestine as an official state. We have Donald Trump going to Saudi Arabia, working out a deal with them to help promote more peace, trade, and prosperity inside of the Middle East here. Huh? Wait. Pitch me. What? Is this really happening here? It looks like it is. And it looks like Donald Trump is sticking true to his guns of doing the best he can to prop up the American country, its empire, and of course, its hegemony here. As these are very bold moves being made by Donald Trump here that a lot of his predecessors, a lot of the people before him would have never dared to make here. There's no way you would be able to pull off deals and then not include the Israelis in it. As we had major American diplomats come out and say, listen, we're going to do this deal, whether Israel's a part of it or not. They could be a part of it or they could be not. As the rumors are, the United States wants a ceasefire. The United States just signed a ceasefire with the Houthis. The United States is saying the Israelis are being manipulative and that they don't want a ceasefire. And the United States is saying, you know what, we're just going to act alone. We'll make a deal without you guys. We'll make a deal about the future in the Middle East without you guys. That's a big move. That's a bold move. That's a move that, of course, a lot of people wouldn't have the scruples, wouldn't have the chutzpah to do. And this guy does. So give credit where credit is due, as, of course, he's pissing off Big Pharma. He's pissing off the military-industrial complex. He's pissing off all of the right people. And again, getting hostages freed. I mean, if you're an Israeli, this is great. You got one of your guys freed because of Donald Trump, because of him negotiating with Egypt and Qatar, right? This is amazing. Him saying, you know what? I'll stop these predatory drug companies that, by the way, lots of times just work in the most underhanded, conspiratorial, debaucherous ways against you. Diabolical, if you think about the way that their kind of business and marketing is used against the well-being and benefit of the American people. For far too long, the American people have been downtrodden, have been used, have been abused, have been squeezed, have been taken advantage of. It's so freaking fascinating to see a shift, a change, a vibe that could have been very closely our paths, our destiny of where we are now could have been changed with just a slight turn of the head. But it hasn't. And we are at this moment that I think truly is absolutely unprecedented. This is just the beginning. This is just month 4 of Donald Trump's presidency, as of course he's still nominating people to be the Surgeon General of the United States. And to see the responses here, to see world leaders, because of Donald Trump, actually come together, to see India and Pakistan actually stop fighting, to see Zelensky and Putin for the first time meet during this war to end it, to understand that, hey, we're at a moment right now where the whole geopolitical U.S. petrodollar system could be inverted, could be changed very dramatically at any moment. We're living in a situation where the timeline that we're on is, I think, one of the most exciting, one of the most tumultuous, one of the most craziest to be on. And personally, I'm kind of grateful we're in this timeline. This is the timeline that I think we deserve. If you agree, share this video with your friends and family members. Get some fish oil in your life. I like it. It helps me. It might help you. Who knows? Do your own research. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more, all here on youtube.com/WeAreChange.